Hey there, it's Robert at the Sampleist, and today we'll be checking out Saturn Hybrid Piano by Sample Factory. Saturn is a rather different piano library as it combines a deeply sampled grand piano with various analog synths. It also uses a pretty unique workflow which allows you to use different tools to mold your sound. Saturn has 160 presets with additional user slots for your own sounds. It also features 24 analog synths to choose from, along with 10 different effects which can be put in 4 slots. Saturn is worth $80 with a size of just under 10 gigabytes and requires the full version of Contact 6.7.1. So no free Contact player. In this video, we'll be going through some of the presets of Saturn, do an overview of the library, and a composition where we'll hear this library in context. I'm looking forward to going through this with you, so let's get after it. Before we start diving into the overview, I do need to state that while the library has been provided to us by Sample Factory at no charge, they are in no way influencing my thoughts and opinions on the library, and the developer has had no input or previous visibility into the video before we put it out. With that being said, let's continue. Alright, so here we are with Saturn. There are a lot of presets here, so let's just get started. It's a really cool library. There's a lot to listen to, a lot to really play with when you have the time. Right now we're just going to do bits and pieces, do some of each section, and if I feel like we went through it pretty quickly, I'll just go back around. So the first thing we'll check out is the very first patch. Quiet Dry Piano. Can't really go wrong with a nice piano. I really love the sound of it. Alright, so now let's go to Never Ending. Pretty good. Let's check out Ghost. Has like a bit of an old school feel to it for me. That might just be me. We'll see. Next, go to Lo-Fi. Sounds pretty crunchy, pretty different. Not sure what I would use it in, but then again, I say that about so many different sounds and so many different cases that I end up using it anyway. What I like to do is put it through Black Hole. Daniel James, thank you for that. Sounds pretty good through Black Hole, but then again, a lot of things do. Next, let's go to Reversed. Now this I think is great because you could use this in a lot of modern ways, a lot of dramatic type of films, a lot of suspense type of films, in the calmer moments, the more emotional moments maybe. When it calls for something more hybrid synthy, this I think is great. Let's go into Nightmare. What if I go low? I feel like in this case, holding out the patch, like holding out the pitches, really is more rewarding here. All right, so let's move on. Next, we're going to Cosmic Horror. Nice. I see the flange is probably the big thing here is causing this. Let's go back. I can see myself using this for things that need higher pitches, really. Like the low pitches sound pretty good, but at the same time I feel like for that type of movement, higher might be better. Next, tension. So for this, I really like the synth sound more than the piano sound. I think it's cool that you have both, but in this case, as crazy as to say, I would rather it to be maybe the tiniest attack of the piano mixed with the synth. Other than that, it's really good. Let me see what I can do here. Though in a way, it's kind of cool you have the piano first as that nice, organic, live instrument sound, acoustic-y sound, and then you get the synth that comes in to mimic it. Black hole. Feel like a whole breach is happening in the ship. I like it a lot. That's cool. I'm not sure if they meant it to be like a cool sound effect, but to me that's a really cool sound effect. A way to get a good ping type of sound, but that doesn't have a crazy attack. I like that a lot. Next. Now that one is interesting. I'm not getting much of like the pitches, but at the same time, I'm getting the feel that there's something there. I kind of like that to use it in terms of like adding weight in the background, if you know what I mean. Let's try medium. I know it's listed as a pad, but I can see myself using this as a lead for some lighter tracks. All right, next, let's go to the basses. Reese. Sorry, that bass. Interesting, interesting. Next, let's go to wobble. Now this, I think, has more of that bass feel. I really like it. It's like an electrified piano. All right, next, let us do pulse. I like a good pulse sound. I really do. Let's do deep pad. Cool. LFO'd. Now that's different. I like that a lot. I want to hear how it sounds with black hole. I like that a lot. I think that's a really good sound, especially with a bigger reverb. I think that has a lot of good going on, I have to say. Next, Guide Me. Like you have the piano. It's a really, this one's great because it has you're basically layering. And layering can be really good in this case, I have to say. Let's put some black hole. I think the name of the game for that one is to have more reverb in it, to really let it sing. Besides that, it's great, and you can add more reverb in the library itself. Shoegaze. Yeah, that's like a really cool lead guitar-y sound. I could use that a lot. Let's check out Prime. Nice organ. Like, that's a really cool electric-y organ. Check out Rotating. Nice. If I had something quirky to write, this would be it. This would be the library. Especially for like something 8-bitty sounding. This is it. I mean, not 8-bitty sounding, 8-bitty looking. All right, let's check out the sequences. Now that one surprised me so much that I accidentally pressed a key on my keyboard. That's really cool. I did not expect this from this library. I have to say, like, this was a pleasant surprise. Let's check out Detuned Battles. Now that, I don't know why I keep thinking of Abstract or something with that. It's different, very different. Very cool. Listen to Bassy. These are so unique. And I feel like I say that a lot with things like this because, like, it's very different. Everyone's trying to do something different. This is very different. So Tectonic. It's more tonal, but it moves on its own. Now that to me sounds really cool. I want to put some black hole because I feel like that could sound really cool. Yeah, pretty good. Let's go to drunk. Got to turn off black hole. Now that's interesting. I've could have sworn I've heard something like sound like that before on like a big film or something. I don't know why. Sequence rhythm. Okay, let's try that. See, I feel like this should be called drunk. I don't know why. I just feel like that to me sounds like like more drunk. Still really good though. Nuclear 1. Pretty interesting there. I could see myself using these sequences more as like little ornamentations here and there. There are some that sound more like phrases, which could be used as a loop in a way, which is also cool. But most of those I feel like I'd use for more ornamentation type things. Little moving ornamentation, if that makes sense. All right, next. We're in the mod section. We're nearly there. Let's go to filtered. Getting some UI going here. We'll be going through through this in depth on the UI section. Now that's a really cool sound. I'll show you how it looks. Really cool. You'll see more of that in the UI, like I said. So many more mods. Swell. Very cool. We just got hit by light, it seems like. Let's play it. Not sure what happened there. That was interesting. Got hit once we changed the preset. So I feel like some of these they sound good and all, but could use some verb. And I'm sure there it is. For me, I would want it longer. Let's just hear how it sounds with black hole. Very nice. Good on its own, but even better with even extra verb to push it along. Milky Way. Is a different mod. Nice. All right, let's go to the chopper. Nice. Oh wow, we've made it to the end. One more then. Kick. I do like the initial attack on that. So yeah, that does it for these presets. There's a lot in here, and I only scratched the surface, really. I didn't realize we made it to the end. I was surprised. So next, we'll go over the UI section of this. So we'll go over everything you see here more in detail. All right, so here we are with the UI of Saturn, and we're going to work off of a preset I made called Echo Piano. It's a very simple sound. Really cool for uses if you want it in the background. You can put like an LFO tool or something to adjust the pan however you want. You could always also use the pan sequencer in the library, put a larger reverb with black hole like I like to do. So let's get started here. And let's get started with the 4 big square rectangles over here. And these are our effect slots, which are very cool. You have a choice of all of these. I believe it's 10. Very cool effects. We'll play around with those in a bit. We also have this cog here, which lets you adjust the parameters for each effect slot, as you can see here. And each effect can have different types of parameters. And my favorite is that you have these different buttons here for some of them. Look at these different types of delays, different types of reverb, different types of filters, and so on. I think that's really cool to have that. Next, you have this part, which is going to have me skip ahead here. I'll save that for later. You also have your on-off switch. So yeah, let me turn these off. Let us just play around with this. We have the lo-fi sound. You've already heard it on its own, the way it was for the patch, but now you're going to hear it with the lo-fi. It's pretty different. Should also add that bringing this up and down is like a slider, like a mix knob or a send to a bus that has the effect. Next, let's look at the flanger. I like the sound of the through zero. The scan is good too. Let's adjust different things, just whatever. Just mess around, see what's up. Ooh, I like this. You have presets for the flange. Around 100 full. We're at 100 for the mix knob. I'll just call it. Let's do cluster. I like the flanger. I could use that a lot. Should probably add that for this patch I made in general. Let's get the filter on. Right now it's on the low pass. We can do a band pass. Pretty interesting there. All right, so let's move on. So just bring back the patch the way it was. So now here we are with the Xcode section here. You see it. It's not really called Xcode. Let me turn it on. Let me play the sound again. Let me turn it on. has a cool organy sound already. So this is where the analog synths come in, which is really cool. Press that button and it opens something called pads. And it's basically all the analog synths that were sampled and put in here to mix with the piano sound. And I think it's really good the way they did it, because you're able to adjust how much of the synth you want. You're able to adjust the attack, the ADSR of the synth and whatnot. It's really cool. Let's try Save Me. Yeah, there's so many of these, and you can mix and match, like use different pads with different effects and whatnot. Really works well. Let me put more filter. I like that. It brings it in right away to cover up the piano and like mix it with it, gel with it really well. You have your mix knob here. Staccato. Let's see what happens if I don't press that. Doesn't do much of a difference for me now because I have the sequencer on. Let me just turn it off. A nice white noisy pad. Nice. You have your reverb section here. Like there's a lot of cool stuff here. Oh, sorry, not your reverb. I'm going crazy. Reverse. I can't read. Bring it to 0. And then put it full mix. And I like how you can adjust the length here to whatever tempo you have. Really good functionality there. Here we have the LFO. I'm scared of what the sound's going to be like. Let me adjust the pitch as well if I can, yeah. There's that. Let's go here. And then pan. That's really cool. I like this LFO section here. You can really adjust and play around for hours trying molding a sound that you think would be cool, or just messing around, seeing all the possibilities. I will turn the pitch one off. All right, so let's go to the sequencer. I'm gonna go to pitch. Something chaotic. Get some really random sounds here. Nice. You can do that with different filters here too. Really cool. Can go around the whole frequency spectrum. All right. And now we have dynamics. Let me bring back the original here. Adjust the shape and the curve of the attacks. I like what this EQ part here is doing. like that a lot. This dynamic section could really be a good way to adjust, to fine tune parts of the sound that you didn't think about really fine tuning. Gives an extra bit of options for some EQ molding and affecting the attack and whatnot. Really cool. All right, so here comes a good part, a really cool part, I should say. Oh, before I forget, we have the master bus. You have your limiter, amp, tape, and compressor. Let's go here. Don't have it on. Really cool crunch. Got your tape. Yeah, a lot of different controls there. Your limiter here, which is good to have. So the last thing here is this cool button here called mod. And the way this works is that there are two mod slots here. Right now I have them programmed to my mod wheel and expression. And the way it works is the further up I go this way, the more it'll slide down these different effects. And as it goes down those effects, they'll slowly add them in to the sound. Let's turn it on. Add the filter. Make sure you press that chain or else it won't work. And then you see this button here. It's gonna let you choose which direction you're going. So I just press that, and now you're gonna see this end go up and down. And this is really cool because now it's going, instead of it sliding through each effect and having them slowly come in, now what it's going to do is as I increase the expression, it's going to slowly bring in all the effects at once. Really cool. So you can mess around with the effects and all that and see how that really comes into play. I think it's a really cool way to get this going, to get cool sounds going. I could be at this for hours making different sounds, and I think I will be, especially adding things like black hole and whatnot to the mix. So yeah, that does it for this section. The next part, we'll be going into the composition. Alright, so here we are. Hope you like the composition. So let's just start from the beginning of the track, which uses the first instance of Saturn that we'll talk about, which is the delayed piano. It's a really good sound for that delay, and it has some reverb already in it, but I want to add more. So I put black hole, and I even added the reverb for the whole track too. And it really comes together to make a really cool sound. The next one we'll go over is number 3. Which is never ending. Now this one is really cool. It really cuts through a mix, and the way it cuts through the mix makes it really good for a lot of mid frequency type of tracks. If you want something that's higher, that'll cut through everything, this is a good piano lead for that. Like, I really like this. I'll be using this a lot. The next one will be from the mod section. It's called Tunnel. I really like how this also cuts through. It's a good layer for the lead piano here for Never Ending. And I didn't mess around with this much because I thought it played really well the way it was. The next one is one that I made called Echo Piano. And here you can add more reverb from the library itself within it. But for me, like you've seen in my other videos here, I do like using black hole because it gives it something more of that more ominous verb. But the reverb here really works well too. But yeah, I use the sequencer here, use more of a filter here. It's very easy to make your own sounds on this, I have to say. Let's see what happens if I turn on the pad side here. I might use that for some other things. That's actually really good. Anywho, let's move on. The next one I used was Warm Chorus. Let's go from here. Has some good bite to it, even though it's supposed to be more warm and chorusy. It still has a good chunk of bite, which I like, especially if I don't want to use something that's more organic strings, like actual strings for those high frequencies. If I want something more synthy, that's a little thinner, this is a good way to go. Like I really like what they used here, how they made it work together. I really have to say they did a good job on that sound. Next is space strings. Well, I should say last space strings. So this has also kind of that string-like feel. It's even thinner and more harsh in a way. But I like how it works in this. And I'll admit, when I first was listening to this sound, I was thinking, what am I going to use this in? And sure enough, when I'm writing this track, this came up and I'm thinking, wait, this sounds amazing in this. I also have it going through guitar rig. So let me turn guitar rig off. I do like this library's ability to be very flexible within itself, but also play well with other libraries here, as well as be easy to use with other plugins that can really change the sound, like guitar rig here. Like it's really good stuff. But yeah, that does it for the overview here. I really hope you liked the track. I really hope you liked the library, because there's a lot of good stuff in here, and there's a lot more to dive into on your own, and for me as well when I work on films, trailers, and games in the future. So my final thoughts for Saturn are that it's a very good library with a lot of flexibility within the box and outside of it. And what I mean by that is there are libraries that can be molded outside the box and whatnot, but this one I think has a lot of different ways I can mold the sound that's just not piano, that's just not synth. I feel like the fact that you can make so many sounds within the library and then you can use it with other plugins really opens the door to many more possibilities than I would with just a regular piano and such. So yeah, I think Sample Factory did a great job with that, and combining these hybrid elements to make something that could be used in a lot of different genres. And I think I'll be using this a lot in future compositions and future projects, especially if I keep making my own presets. So yeah, I think it's a great library. I think everyone should take a look at it. So yeah, please like and subscribe to the Sampleist, and please by all means comment below, tell me what you think of the library, how you would use it, what projects you think would be cool with it. And if you already do have it, please comment below on how you feel about it, how you're using it and whatnot. So yeah, take care.